What season of your life are you in right now? Comment that below. And if you don't know what season you're in or what the hell I'm even talking about, then stay tuned because we're going to talk about it.
Cerebral flow in my head I go. Try reach me now but my cell line slow. I keep it low, it's like where I go. Try teach me how but I said I know. People know me like you like hope, and I need to know premise when I show. I collect my dough, do my thing and go.
What got me thinking about this is I'm going to be transparent. I've been having a difficult past 5 to 6 months of this year. It just seemed to be such an internal chaotic kind of battle where it's like the first time in my life I'm not really understanding or knowing what it is I truly want in terms of my life or my career or like my love life even, or all these aspects of my life is just causing confusion, right? Something again I've never experienced before. So it got me thinking about, okay, maybe I'm entering a different season of my life. Maybe this is a time for me to go inward and like reflect and all these things. So that brought about this conversation. So when you think about the seasons, okay, we're thinking about farming. So we got the seasons. You got spring, you got summer, you got autumn, fall, whatever you want to call it, and then we have winter. And each of those seasons brings about a different kind of energy for farmers, for cropping, for harvesting, things of this nature. So I'm going to break those down one by one. And as you're listening to it, begin to think about your own life and which of these phases or which of these seasons do you feel resonates to where you are currently in your life. Okay, well, we'll start this off with what I believe is the beginning of all things, right? And that is spring. So springtime is an exciting time, right? It's like it's hopeful. We have a lot of anticipation. So when it comes to farming, we're getting our seeds together, right? We're getting ready to do a little bit of work to get these seeds cropped. We're making the holes, we're planting them, but we're hopeful, like, right? We have a lot of renewed energy, a lot of excitement, and a lot of hope. We're very, what's the word I'm looking for? We're very, come to me. Well, for lack of the word I was thinking of, we're very optimistic during this time. We're hopeful that we're going to plant these things and they're going to come to fruition. We're going to get what we wanted. This is going to be a great time, right? So we're kind of just in a good space. So that's what spring brings us. All of this renewed energy, all of this rebirth, all of this hopes and plans and dreams, and like the energy and the ability to put in work to delay that and hope that we get to reap the fruits of this labor, right? And so when it comes to applying that to your own life, you can think about that in the same way. You're initiating things. You're excited about your life. You're excited about starting new paths, starting new careers, starting new ventures, starting new relationships, getting out and learning yourself, going out and doing activities. You're okay with talking to lots of people because, maybe of the 10 people you talk to, 5 of them become friends. 1 of them becomes someone that you might fall in love with. So it's like you have all of this goal, this start, this firecracker, this like I'm ready to do these things, and I'm hopeful, and I'm bringing all of that energy. And you realize that comes with a little bit of work, right? Because even when farmers are planting, they also have to be prepared for pest and disease, right? So they're not just putting their crops out and leaving them. They're like, okay, let me also get a couple things to protect these seeds that I'm planting, right? So you're also being very intentional about how you're applying your energy and like what you need to do to continue to protect yourself while you're putting yourself out there. Okay, so that's springtime. Next, we move into summer. Now, I believe summer is the hardest season to be in. Why? It's long days and it's hot days. So we got long and we got hot. And it's not, a lot of people think, oh, well, I did the work, I planted the seeds, now I can just sit back and like hope that they grow. No. Summer is the hardest season for farmers because they have to be out there every single day protecting their crops. Rain, you have to be prepared for that. As the crops are slowly starting to grow, now we have to fight off the squirrels and the rabbits and all these pests and all these animals. We have to continue to monitor weeds, because once weeds start spreading, that's a problem. So we kind of got to keep on track of that and make sure like our weeds are being controlled. So it's like all day long we are working and we're growing. So summer is the growth aspect. Okay, yeah, we planted our seeds, but now we have to let that stuff grow. We have to continue to protect it and continue to nurture it. So in terms of life, yeah, you put all your energy out there. applied for all these jobs and you got the job that you wanted. Well, now you have to work. You got to work in that job. You have to put yourself out there and continue to grow in your career. You put all your feelings out there for these relationships. You got 5 friends, you got the lover, but now you have to work. You have to get to know these people. You have to take the time to go out and do things with them. You have to have the conversations, the difficult ones and the not so difficult ones, but it's like where we are working. So summer is the season of work. We got the stuff that we wanted, and now we got to work to maintain it. Okay, you're in the relationship and stuff is going to come and try to knock you off pace. You're going to have like maybe small little disagreements, and it's like, what are we going to do to protect that union? What are we going to do to keep that safe? Work is coming along, and you got the coworkers that are kind of making it a little difficult. Maybe you got that boss that is not even like maybe you got that boss that's not the greatest boss, or maybe you're having a moment of just tired of getting up and going. But so now we have to fight off all of this negative energy, these diseases, these pests, these outer forces that are making things a little difficult. But because we wanted these things, and these are our seeds, we have to work every day, all day to keep them together. Okay, so that's how I would define, the summer season, where we're seeing our seeds grow, but we're putting in a lot of work to ensure that they continue to grow and that nothing's going to rip them out prematurely. Okay, let's move into autumn/fall. So this is the time for harvest, right? And now we're celebrating, okay, because we worked tirelessly, we worked very hard in the summer, and we protected our seeds, and they continue to grow. And now they're just like fully bloomed, right? Like they're like, wow, like look at that, like look how beautiful that is. Now it's time to really just sit back and like be grateful. I'm sure a lot of farmers, before they go and pick their carrots or pick whatever, they kind of probably just have a moment where they're sitting on their porch, they got the little coffee, a little tea, whatever in their hand. They're just like looking out at everything just in amazement, like, wow, like I worked hard, but look at my garden. Look at my crops, right? So this is a moment of reflection, of gratitude, of celebration for all that you have done, all that you have endured, the ways that you have protected the seeds that you planted in the spring. That's what summer is bringing, and we can again apply that to real life as well. Well, that's real life, but more of a personal life. So maybe you're looking at your relationship and being like, wow, like we had some growth spurts in the summer, right? But we made it through. Like here we are, and like we have a beautiful relationship. We've connected so much. We've gotten through that together. We're looking at our friends, and you're like, wow, like I really shared a lot with my friends over the summer, and like they know me on a deeper level now. Like we have this great friendship. Work is going well. We got rid of that old boss. We got a new boss in. Like, this is going well. So like, whatever. Like we can really just kind of sit back and be like, everything that I once prayed for, essentially, is just looking great right now. And I'm just happy to be experiencing and grateful for all that I endured to get here. So that's kind of how I would define autumn. And then the other thing that happens in the harvest season is harvesting, right? So now that you've taken a moment to admire everything that you have gone, now you got to pluck the stuff out, which is kind of crazy. But so now you have to eat your crops. And yes, maybe you pluck them out and you keep them on your own table. Maybe you also harvest them and then you give them to other people. Okay, so in a real life situation, I keep saying real life, but you know what I mean. But maybe that means now you're getting referrals and you're like telling other people, well, hey, come work at this job because whatever. So that's your way of like putting that, giving the fruits of your labor to someone else. Maybe you're getting someone else a promotion. Maybe you're getting someone else a job. Maybe you're doing that. Same with your relationships. Maybe you've developed a good friendship, but now you have other friends. Maybe now you're bringing both your friend groups together. And it's like, well, hey, I've made these friends. Let's all be friends. So, whatever, however you want to look at that. But that's kind of what the harvest season is. It's a moment of celebrating everything that you have endured. It's appreciating it. It's having gratitude. And then it's taking the time to actually enjoy it yourself and sharing it with others. And lastly, we have winter. And so winter is that rest and reflection kind of season. So, there's nothing left, right? You've already pulled out all of your crops. You've enjoyed them, you've shared them, you've done the things. Now you look out to your yard, it's blank, it's empty. The year is gone. We had a great year. Some of our crops might have died in the summer, but a lot of them survived. We got the chance to enjoy them. So now we just kind of sit back and reflect. We rest, because from spring all the way, because I said in spring we were planting, we were prematurely working on making sure that our crops are going to be safe from pests. In the summer, we're actively working. We're picking out weeds. We're doing all kind of stuff. In the fall, we're plucking out things, we're harvesting them. So we've been working all of this time, but now there's really nothing to do. Okay, so now's our time to just sit back and reflect on everything we've gone through before, and then to kind of start thinking about, okay, what do we want next time? Do we want to replant these same crops? Do we want to do different crops? Now we're kind of planning and reflecting on like what went well, what didn't go well, and what we want to do when the season starts again. Okay, and so when it comes to everyday life, that's kind of the same concept, right? So now we're being able to just rest and look at our situations and wonder, like, okay, this is what I did to get here. Would I do that again? Is it something that I would do better? Was there a way I could have develop my friendships a little better? Was there a way that I could have developed my relationship, my career a little better? Did I do everything to my best ability? What would I do different? What do I want to change for next time? Is there anything I need to get rid of as well? Maybe some of those crops or seeds that we planted, they maybe did grow and we got to harvest them, but we didn't really enjoy them. You know what I mean? Like maybe it was like, I thought I liked cucumbers, but like I really didn't. So like next time I don't want cucumbers. So the point of the winter season is also realize, like, just because something grew and became what it was supposed to be, do you want that thing though? And that's okay too. Like I said, maybe you don't like cucumbers, maybe you don't like tomatoes. You didn't know you didn't like them until in the beginning, you thought that's what you wanted. And so you planted that seed, you watched it grow, you saw what it became, and now you're like, I grew. I did a great job growing it, but I don't really like the end product. So, like, I don't really want that next time. So it's the same thing in your life. Maybe you did apply to that job, you applied yourself the most, you grew, but then at the end of that, you're like, okay, yeah, I got this promotion, or like I got the money I needed or whatever, but you're like, I don't really like this job, and that's okay too. So that's the point of winter. It's really just a reflection on, like, what is your life like right now? Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy this career that you've built? Do you enjoy these relationships that you have built? Where did you go wrong in those things? Where did you go right? And what can we do next time so that we can have a better year? Okay, yeah, I think that's the end of the video. So now that you've gotten a good scope of what the seasons are, from, again, that's personal opinion. These aren't facts, right? But like, that's how I would apply the seasons to real life. So now that you understand those, go ahead and comment the season that you think that you're in, and also comment what season do you think is your favorite. What season of your life have you enjoyed the most? And I'll catch you in my next video. The knowledge we gain is important, it's powerful, but it's the knowledge we share that makes a difference. So share this with someone who you feel like likes these kind of topics, these kind of concepts and topics that are a little abstract, so we can discuss them here on the channel. And I'll catch you next time. Don't forget to like the video if you did like it, and as always, don't forget to crush it.